Hi everyone, it's Grace, and I thought I would do a little diamond painting and just have a little chat. This is the small little house that I'm going to be working on. I think I want to work, I've done the top part, it's already finished. So I think I want to go with the letter F. I have quite a few of them down here. This is bright green color, so I think I'll do that. I pour some into my tray here. Don't need very many. There's not a whole lot to do, so I don't need to put a whole lot on there. Get that out of the way, and let's pull this up a little bit. I'm not going to pull it too far up, so I can set my tray right on top of that paper and do this. Okay, so I am really enjoying doing this little house. I think I'm gonna get my little. Okay, now I can see better with my little my little readers on. I have just put some wax into my pen, so I should be good to go for a while. So I always leave my container out so that I can look at it to in case I forget which letter was I doing again. If I get to talking and or doing something else, I like to do that. Anyway, I hope you are having a great day, and I actually had a party that I'm going to on Saturday for two of my great nephews and my great niece. These are my brother's grandkids, and they're going to go to his house, and we've got kind of a surprise party for all their birthdays. We're just doing it all at once because they live a little ways away from where we live. Anyway, the oldest one is 4. The youngest one is turning 2, and then the other one, I believe, I think he just turned 3. So it should be kind of a fun time watching the kids play, and I'm sure my niece is probably going to want to kill me when she sees what I got for the middle one. He loves dinosaurs, so I was looking for dinosaurs, and I found this one. I mean, they have the little plastic ones you can play with, and I know he has a lot of those. So I decided I was going to get something different. So I found this dinosaur, and this one has batteries, and he walks, he lights up, and he roars real loud. So from the things that I have read, they said the roar is pretty loud. So I'm sure my niece is going to be, and her husband are going to be thrilled with me with that little gift. But I'm kind of anxious. I asked my brother, so what do you think about it? And he said, well, Hudson, that's the little one's name, he would love it. I'm like, that's all that matters. So I got it. So we will have a roaring, flashing dinosaur going on during the day. We'll see how loud it is. I'm just waiting to see how long it'll be before they decide to pull the batteries out of it. I got him something else also so that he can do when they get tired of listening to the roaring. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of, when we were younger, and my brothers and my sister, we had our young kids, we used to see who could get the loudest toy to give as birthday presents or whatever. And it was kind of amusing, some of the things that they came up with. I think one year either my sister or one of my brothers gave one of those air horns that you blow. You can't get much louder than that. But you got all kinds of cars that made all the sirens and the roaring motors and all kinds of things like that. So it was a blast. Do any of y'all do things like that? I wasn't real bad about doing that to people, but hey, I'm older now. all things are going to happen now. So I'm looking forward to that because I don't get to see them very often. I'm just going to shake this a little bit because I want my... That's the wrong color. How did you get in there? Let's put you over there. Got to have them all standing up in the right direction so that I can put them in the right way. Notice how easy it is to do these rounds. And I'm using, this is one of my favorite pens. I'm going to use the Pick Me Up pen so you can see how I use that one also. I use it sometimes. I like it in some ways. I like the other one, I think, better. I can see what I'm doing better holding the other one, I believe. But this one's okay. It will do. So, any of you buy some new diamond paintings? Anything cool? The other night I was on AliExpress, which is never a good thing, and I did order some. I found one shop, and I'm excited to show you what I get from there, because not only can you order your canvas, but you can also get your drills can be squares, they can be the regular rounds, or they can be the crystal ones. So I ordered a couple of crystal ones from them just to see what they're going to look like. Now that place, it takes, I think, 19 to 39 days to get here. Let me roll this up some more. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take before I get that and I can share it with you, but I'm excited to get that one and see, because every one of their paintings you can buy it either with a square, the round, or with a crystal. So I'm excited to see what their crystals look like, if they're like, you know, the rhinestone type that a lot of us look for, or if it's just some cheap looking thing. Now I can say that their things are not real cheap. Well, they're not expensive, but they're not as cheap as maybe you'll find at another place. Okay, I've used this more than I want to. I want to go back to my favorites. I like these. I don't know why, but they're cute. They make me happy to even look at them. But they're easy to see and easy to use, and I like them. They're cute. But I'm really anxious to get that one. I also am supposed to get a new painting in next Tuesday. And this one's going to be a clock, and it's got the special diamonds on it, and there's some big crystals on it, and I'm looking forward to that, because we had our air conditioner worked on, a couple of months ago. Excuse me. And the guy knocked our clock off of the wall, and I said, oh, that's okay, don't worry about it. It's an old one. So we tried to get it to work, and it won't work. Put another battery in it, still wouldn't go. It stopped. So it's just stuck at the same time. So as you know, the time's only right 2 times during the day. So I actually got that so I could do it. I think it's either a 40 by 40 or 50 by 50, so it'll be a nice size clock that I can see. So I'm looking forward to getting that and sharing that one with you so you can see what that one's going to look like. Okay, done with the F. Put it back over here in my container. Let's see, let's do some of these T's down here. got a few T's that I can work on. So put some here in my tray, shake it around. Just put it right there so I can reach them. So I'm anxious to get that one because it is something that I can use. So they had so many different clocks to pick from. It was so hard to decide. I put in diamond painting and then clock after it, and all these clocks came up. And I kept going back to the same one, so I thought this is the one I need to get. So that's what I did. And it'll be real quick to do because it's just a partial. So that'll be a quick, easy one, and I can get my clock up. It even comes with the clock mechanism so that you can put it together. It doesn't come with a battery. I don't think they're able to ship batteries overseas. I don't think it comes with a battery. I don't remember, but all I wanted was the clock, so that's all that. It's really important. And of course the hands so that I can fix it, so it'll work and I don't have to go and look for those pieces on my own. So I have been working on my custom, and that is going to take forever to believe. It's a 60 by 90, and I've shown it in one of my videos. And I've started working on that, like I said, and those little squares seem to go on for miles and miles and miles. So it is for a Christmas present, so hopefully I'm going to get all of that done by that time. Okay, working on this round. This is such an easy one, such an easy to do. See, it just slides. They slide around. If you put it in the wrong spot, it just slides back into it. Now, not all of them are as slippery. This one's kind of slippery, but it's very sticky. It sticks real well. I have a couple of pieces I need to frame, just trying to decide how I want to do it. That sometimes is the hard part, is what do I want to do with the frame. I've gotten to where I like to put it either under the plastic, the real clear plastic, lucite, whatever it is, or glass. That way it doesn't get dirty. I don't have to worry about air getting to it and getting the diamonds where they might. I don't think they're going to lose their stick. And every part, one of the things I've read, it says that they will last for years and years. So I guess if they start falling off, it'll just be time to get rid of that one and do another one. But I just can't imagine that happening. But if they do fall off, it might be difficult to find it, unless it is under glass. How do most of you like to frame yours, if you framed any? Do you enjoy doing under glass? I thought about doing one, putting the tape around it, the washi tape or whatever, putting around the sides, but I don't know. I just kind of like doing the frames. I did one video showing mounting it on a poster board, and it looks just like it has a border around it. I used black poster board. You could use any color. And with all the colors in this piece, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do a border. I've done one with a border and one without. So it's just going to depend on my mood. But the ones with the washi tape, those are pretty cool. I've seen some people do it with duct tape or with ribbon. It's just, you can be real creative with it. Well, there goes one flying off, wanting to put itself in there. Just didn't happen to land in the right spot. Hope I am staying in view while I'm doing this. I have so many stories that I thought about telling until I turn the camera on and start talking. This might not be very long until I get used to doing this and talking to you at the same time, but it's so relaxing to do this. What do you like to do when you're doing your diamond painting? Do you listen to music? Do you watch YouTube? Do you watch TV? Listen to a book on tape? I think I'm going to start. A lot of times I watch YouTube videos, and sometimes I'll watch something on TV. Sometimes I just want it to just sit in the quiet when nobody's around, and it's just nice and peaceful. It just depends on my mood, what I want to do. I've been talking about my glasses and how hard it is to sometimes see these little things. Well, right now I've got on a pair of my cheaters, cheap little reading cheaters, and I used to wear contact lenses. I've been wearing glasses since I was in the 2nd grade. I think I was born not being able to see, because my teacher said that I couldn't see the board, so my parents took me to the eye doctor, and yeah, I couldn't see the E at the very top. So that just tells you just how blind I really was. The E is the biggest letter on there, the very top line. When you can't read that, that's pretty sad. So I came out of there with these glasses that look like Coke bottle bottoms. And boy, did my brothers give me a hard time about that. And I could not wait until I would be old enough to wear contact lenses, because my dad decided he would let me get contact lenses. I think I was 13 or 14. And what is so funny about the contact lenses back then, they were a hard piece of plastic. Nowadays, you get those nice, soft, daily wear ones or monthly wear or whatever. These are hard plastic. They do not bend. They don't move, nothing. So, it's shaped to fit your eye. And you put it on, and I remember when you first put that sucker in, it's like putting a big piece of plastic in your eye. I remember you'd start out wearing the contact lens maybe for an hour during the day, then you took that sucker out, and I couldn't wait to get it out. You're basically getting your eye used to having a piece of something inside in it. And I loved my contact lenses because I didn't have to wear my Coke bottle glasses any longer. And I wore contacts for over 30 years probably. And boy, it was nice when they came out with the new soft ones. Oh, it was like, I mean, that was like heaven. But I just remember having to get used to those. And what you would do is you would increase it. Every day you might go an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. So you kept increasing it until you built a tolerance to those lenses in your eye. Then to take them out, you would have your eye and you'd squeeze the corners like you were going to make a squint, and they'd pop out. And if you got any little piece of anything under one of those, that was so painful. You had to take the sucker out because you could not get it off. And those were not, to replace one of those was very expensive, so you took very good care of them. But I remember I would, of course, you know, getting into high school, of course I was going to wear my mascara and everything, and you do not want to get a piece of your mascara underneath that contact lens, because then you'd be crying and crying and crying. So things have really changed, but I still don't know how we did it back in those days. Any of you familiar with that? That was horrible. It was kind of like almost like a torture device to put in your eye. So it was wonderful when they came out with a new kind. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like heaven. Then I got to where my eyes were so dry that when I'd go to take those soft ones out, they would just stick to my eye because they were so darn dry. And then my ophthalmologist told me, no more contacts for you. And I was so sad. I mean, I was grown. I was a lot older. But I was used to my contact lenses, and so I've been wearing glasses now for several years, and I just get them made as thin as I can get them done, and that costs more, so it's just a pain to be blind as I am. If you ever get in a car with me and I don't have my glasses on, get out, because you know you're riding with a blind woman. I would... when I see someone and I'm looking at their face, I'm like, who are you? Because I can't see. So that was a big deal. And when you're younger, you care more about things like that, I guess, than you do as you get older. Would I like to still be able to wear contact lenses? Yes. Will I ever be able to again? Probably not, because my eyes aren't going to change from all my allergies. But I'm okay with my glasses. I get them as thin as I can get them, and they have a lot of cute frames now. So wearing glasses is not the stigma that it used to be when I was younger. Shoot, I remember 2 boys. I was 2nd or 3rd grade, and my friend and I, we would walk together to school because we didn't live that far from the school. And I remember after school one day, these 2 boys were making fun of me, telling me I was ugly and talking about my glasses and that kind of thing. And they wanted to like beat me up. I don't know why, for no reason. So they knocked me down on the ground, and one of them was sitting on me. He was saying he was going to hit me in my face and break my glasses. And my friend ran. Well, first of all, she told them, she said, Mama, I live right over there, and I'm getting ready to go over there and tell my mom what's going on. And they left. But, you know, when you get to my age and you still remember that, yeah, things that you do to a child are not forgotten. Those bad things stick with you, it seems, more than the good things a lot of the times, because it was very painful. But yeah, I've had some weird undergoings, and then I became a teacher. I taught for 34 years, and I'm now retired. But I tell you what, I stood up for my kids who were, I'd say, some people might call the underdog, or the one other kids would pick on. And I stood up for them, and anybody I ever caught trying to bully one of those kids, I was all over it. I lived it. I have other things that happened when I was in school, and it's best not to think about that, but it just came up when I was thinking about my thick Coke bottle glasses. My brothers, oh my gosh, I had 2 older brothers, and boy did they give me a rough time with it. Look at Grace with her Coke bottle glasses. And not only that, I ended up having to get braces. Back in those days, braces were not cool. They didn't have all those cute colors either. And you wore those rubber bands sometimes, and that wasn't the biggest deal. I remember I had to wear a headgear. I only wore it at home. I wasn't wearing that sucker out anywhere. But my brothers used to make fun of me and tell me they were going to hook me up to a plow so that I could go plow the back 40. That's what you call when you have a big piece of property. So yeah, I was the mule, I guess. The blind mule. So yeah, when you have older brothers, at least mine, especially the second to the oldest. His name is Greg. He really dealt misery to me and my sister. I contribute to him why I am such a good swimmer. My mom wanted to make sure all of us knew how to swim because she was scared of the water. She was born and raised in New Hampshire, and my mom was Greek, and her daddy would not let them get into the water if it came above their, not even above their knees. That's all they were allowed to go in. So my mom was terrified of the water, and she said she did not want any of us to be like that. So we all had swim lessons. When we go to the pool, of course this would be if my parents weren't around, that my brother did this. I'm going to move this closer to me, which is what I normally do. My brother, Greg, he would come at us, and he would grab you by the head, and he would dunk you. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, you're down there for a little while. When he lets you back up, he said, you better take a deep breath because you're going back down. And by golly, if he didn't, shove my head back under that water again. So, this was back before the movie Jaws was out, but if I had seen that movie, whenever I was swimming and I saw my brother coming, that would be the music that would be going on in my head, because I knew that he was going to dunk me, not once, probably not even just twice, but several times. My sister and I learned to be very fast swimmers. We would be just... So I guess I can thank him for that, because I am a very good, strong swimmer, and had to do that to save myself from my brother Greg. He was a hoot, let me tell you. He would, my other brother, my oldest brother, Daryl, when my brothers were younger, of course Daryl was bigger. He was older. But then it got to where Greg grew bigger than Daryl. He got taller, much taller. And so he would start beating up on Daryl. You know how boys like to do, tussle around. Of course, everything was done when Mom and Dad weren't around. When you go outside and do things like that. And we lived in a two-story house. One of our houses was a two-story house. And my brother Daryl hog-tied my brother Greg. If you don't know what hog-tying is, it's when you tie someone behind, you put their arms and their legs together behind them and tie them together. Then he put a gag in his mouth so that he couldn't holler for my mom downstairs. And then he put the mattress on top of him, and he left him that way for a while. He eventually, I don't remember if Daryl finally got loose or Greg finally was nice enough to let him get up. I don't remember. But there was always something going on with my brother Greg, and that's the brother that I'm going to, he lives next door to me now, and that's the one that I'm going to for the party. So, of course, he would think it's funny for me to get this loud dinosaur that I'm talking about getting. I have so many stories with him. He was a mess. He doesn't do things like that to me now. Thank God for that. Can you imagine? But growing up with him, you learned to be tough. He's liable to do anything. He was just a little monster at times. My aunt told us a story of my brothers Daryl and Greg. This was probably, I don't know if I was born yet or was just a tiny baby, but my brother Daryl, the oldest one, he had a little broom, and he used to like to sweep around, help my mama with his little broom. Back in those days, you had wall heaters that had a fire in them. Well, Greg got that little broom and stuck it into the wall heater and caught it on fire and then was running around the house. My aunt, one of my aunts was staying at my mom's that time, and she found it and she shoved the broom down into the toilet to put the fire out. Yeah, Greg, he could come up with the craziest things, and he did that all throughout our childhood. Some things I don't know about because he and my brother would sneak out of the house at night sometimes. So anyway, I'm going to stop at that story so I don't bore you to death with things. But I'm going to tell you to have a great weekend, and hope you enjoyed painting along with me a little bit, and you are enjoying the painting. If you've never tried it and you want to, go for it. You might find out it's the best thing you've ever done. Let me put my cover back on here before something sticks to my canvas. Because if I don't, well, you know what? That wasn't very good. The top came over. I'll get that off of there. Just part of it's got stuck to it. Okay, there we go. There we go. I think I might want to cut that top part off so it can't flap around like that. I need to be careful. Because if you don't put this plastic on the correct way, it will stick to it like, well, like what you just saw. So you have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.